So you have done some interesting work along the years. Of course, one of those was that kind of established you in a way that, not that you weren't established, but of course you've done 24 with Kiefer Sutherland, Black Sails. That was a good role. That was.
But Black Sails was an amazing opportunity. You know, the sort of funny thing about that was that they really did audition all over the world, you know, Australia and the States and South Africa, and everybody obviously got to audition for it, and obviously we were really excited, you know, it was Stars, of course. Wow. You know, and Stars, you know, Stars were a cable channel in the States, and they were known for the Spartacus TV series, the sort of Spartacus trilogy, really. And they were now doing this Black Sails pirate TV series, and Michael Bay was now going to be producing for TV, and so we were all really excited to audition for it. But you know, South Africa we have a sort of a service industry or facilitating industry. So a lot of TV series and movies get shot in South Africa or in Cape Town or in Joburg or Durban because it's cheaper to film here. But not only that.
And the expertise is now there because they've done so much.
Exactly. We've got the amazing Cape Town film studios, and it's not that necessarily things are cheaper, it's that they can get more bang for their buck. So if they've only got $50 million, the services that they can get in this country, it can look like $80 million or 100. So that's really what it's about. So Black Sails was a wonderful opportunity as South Africans to get to audition for it. But we, you know, usually as South African actors, usually when these TV series and movies arrive in this country, all the lead roles are already filled, and then we essentially get to play, you know, barman number 3 or best friend number 3, number 4 who dies within 30 seconds. You know, so we usually get you know, the sort of smaller roles and stuff like that. But with Black Sails, I auditioned along with everybody else, and it really wasn't the best audition in the world. I'd been up in, I was actually up in Durban busy shooting a short film for a friend of mine called A Shot at the Big Time that they happened to do a feature of. And I literally got off the plane and went straight into studio to do like a 3-page monologue. And it wasn't the greatest monologue in the world. And afterwards, I was up, but this is Michael Bay, I have to be, it's a pirate TV series for heaven's sake, and it's every kid's nightmare, dream. I want to play a pirate. And nightmare. Yeah, and nightmare. And so what I actually did, being not arrogant, but I believe you have to go after what you want.
That's right.
You know, and you really have to give it everything. And so what I did is I sort of found out who the American casting director was, and I didn't have his email address, but I knew what his name was, and so I then emailed Stars.
Oh wow.
At like info@stars.com.
Oh, wow.
And for attention of the casting director, and I said, you know, here's my resume, here's my reel. You know, I have auditioned in Cape Town, but I'd really love to work on the show. And then about 2 days later, I then got a phone call, and they said, great, they got your resume and your stuff, and they'd really love you to audition for the part of Richard Guthrie.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know, it pretty much was because of that email. So auditioned for it, luckily didn't have to do a callback for it, and that was an amazing opportunity. I mean, it took quite a while before I actually got confirmed in it, but to play a series regular on 2 seasons of that, well, it was an amazing experience. To really sort of be part of the, you know, that big Hollywood machine, you know, of shooting an episode in 10 days, and you know, having costumes designed for me, and having dialect coaches, and working with a whole team of people to sort of create these sort of characters. So it was the first sort of real taste of sort of being like a Hollywood star, you know. So that was, you know, really exciting for me. But ultimately, I always, you know, whenever young actors sort of ask me, you know, what advice, you know, where should I go to America? You know, should I go try the whole Hollywood thing? My advice is always, when you feel confident and strong enough to do that, and you feel ready, that I'm ready, you'll know when. And also sort of, you know, strike where the iron's hot. And so for me, the minute I'd finished on season 2 of Black Sails, that was the perfect opportunity for me to, you know, finally now go to Hollywood and go, cool, I'm actually on a show at the moment. It's, you know, there's billboards, you know, I'm here, and hopefully that would open doors. But it, in one way, you know, Hollywood really much works on the case of, yeah, they want to have a look at your resume and see what you've done. And so all the work that I'd done over the past 20 years in South Africa, that was kind of fascinating to them, because they couldn't believe that a lot of these productions had actually been shot in South Africa.
It was 24 shots here.
Well, what they did is between season 6 and season 7 of 24, there was a writer's strike. And so what they decided to do was actually do a 24 movie called 24 Redemption. So while the writers strike was on during the season 6 and 7, they then came to shoot a movie here, and so then I got to play this French UN baddie in that, which that certainly helped. That certainly helped open doors. And John Cassar, who was director and producer on that, who had done all these seasons of, we're still friends today. And that I think we shot in like 2008. So Hollywood is very much about that. Hollywood wants to. Casting directors, producers want to work with people that they've either worked with before, or essentially they want to work with working actors.
Yes.
But to actually, and also they don't really want to work with people that they don't know or nobody knows.
That's right.
So even though I maybe already had 70 credits on my resume of international productions that had been shot here, it didn't really mean much because, in South Africa, if you want to be an actor, there's really only 4 casting directors who handle all TV and film, international TV and film productions being shot in this country. In Los Angeles alone, there's over 1,000 to 2,000 casting directors. So you need to build up relationships with those casting directors for them to get to know you as an actor, what your type is, where you're going to fit in. And that's, a lot of actors say it could take 10 years to build up those relationships with casting directors.
And that's what you're doing now.
I mean, that's essentially over the past 2 years what I've been trying to do, is to start building those relationships, trying to get in the room. And I think the first year in Hollywood was really tough. I'm just trying to get those auditions, just trying to get in that door. And then finally what happened was they were doing a new Criminal Minds TV series called Beyond Borders, which was a sort of a spin-off of the popular Criminal Minds series, and Gary Sinise was headlining that. And a role came along where they were looking for a South African.
Oh, nice.
And I got to audition for it, and I was thinking, gee whiz, if I don't get this job, I'm a South African. If I'm auditioning for that, if I don't get the job of a South African, then I must really suck. Right? I must really suck as an actor.
Well, your American accent is too strong.
Yeah, and it was also, and I was. Every time that I believe as an actor, when you audition, you have to go in there and do something different. Yeah. You have to stand out from the other 1,000 people auditioning. You have to do something new, something fresh. And so, I was playing the part of this Noah Kutsia, who's an Afrikaans character, and he was involved in the days of apartheid, and sy Afrikaanse dochter and al die goed. And so what I did is I actually changed 1 or 2 of the lines of the dialogue in the script to Afrikaans, because I thought this would give me the upper hand. Yeah. Of course, I didn't know. It's kind of a rule that you never ever change the dialogue. And so when I actually walked into the audition, I was introduced to the director, the producer, the writer. They were all like sitting over there, and they'll go, okay, Sean, whenever you're ready, go for it. And I sort of, jumped into the first scene, and I was like sort of looking at the writer when I was like sort of doing my Afrikaans dialogue or whatever. And this table of, 8 people were just like sort of staring at me. And I wasn't, were they staring at me thinking like, what the hell is this?
This is awesome.
No, this was during the audition. I was thinking,
it's like going on Idols, you're like got these people.
You have no idea. It's just these like sort of blank faces sort of staring at you. And it was 3 scenes.
Is it intimidating?
Of course. But ultimately, at the end of the audition, I said to them, I was like laughing, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I changed some of the dialogue. And they were, oh my God, no, that was great, you were perfect. Really? Yeah, and then it was cool. So I got that job, and that really helped. It was only a couple of days' work in one episode. It shows the
character as well, and shows that you think outside of the box, and that you're open to new things.
Exactly, and really, the one job then led to the next job, and the next job, and the next job. Because the other thing is at the same time, Hollywood's also really, really small. It's crazy big, but the industry is really small. So essentially, since about sort of September, October last year, up to now, I've essentially been working constantly. Which is good. I'm really lucky. I'm really, really fortunate in that sense.